Good morning, good morning. It's Dawn Nicole and
Demario.
And you are tuning in to Good Morning Success. And guess what? Today is the 30th episode. Woo! We're partying. We are partying. 30 episodes strong. That means that we have done 30 of these. We have given absolute focus, absolute attention to detail. We have made sure that people have been set up for business for 30 episodes now. We cannot be more excited. We want y'all to celebrate with us. So share this with us today. Go ahead and put in the post. Congratulate us. Celebrate with us. Let's celebrate again, babe. Woo! 30 episodes. Yes. Good morning, William. Good morning, everybody. Come on in. Come on in and join us.
That's a lot of talking.
That is a lot of talking.
That's a lot of talking.
How do we come up with 30 episodes, content-wise? Like, how do we even know what we're going to talk about each episode, honey? I mean, really.
That is a lot of talking.
Do we just come up with stuff? Because people always ask.
Whatever's led.
Yes. So listen, you are in for a treat. Again, my name is Dawn Nicole, and this is my beloved host and I should say co-host, not host, but Demario McElwain, and we are a couplepreneurs, and we love doing this. Good Morning Success is daily inspiration for the driven. And can we cheers to that 30 episodes, babe? So here's what we want to know before we begin. You don't know that I'm getting ready to do this. I want to ask you guys, what has been your most impactful episode so far? Then I want to ask you, what has been your favorite episode so far?
My episode so far. I have to go back. I always got to go back to my man Jerry.
Jerry. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my favorite episode thus far.
Good morning, Pyro.
When Jerry and I was talking about the pencil and the tree.
Good morning, Tanya.
You know, when we had that going back and forth, that was mine. What about yours?
Oh, goodness. So many episodes. And if you're just joining us, we are celebrating 30 episodes today. Happy 30. We're asking you all to celebrate with us. We've had 30 episodes full of great content, and we could not have done it without you. What is your favorite episode, or what has been your favorite episode so far? Mine, oh gosh, you know, I have to be honest. I really like yesterday's episode. Yesterday's episode, I felt like we really gave the people something great. Good morning, Kat. I mean, we always give the people something great, but what has been your favorite, most impactful episode? We are on episode number 30. We're super excited because today we have a really deep, debatable topic that you have to get into. The topic for today is, what is it called, honey?
If faith is your plan A, what is your plan B?
Listen to that, y'all. If faith is your plan A, then what is your plan B? But again, we're celebrating 30 episodes today. We want y'all to celebrate with us. We want to ask you, what has been your most impactful episode so far? So you asked me which one was my favorite, and I said yesterday, and that's probably because I'm closest to yesterday. But we've had, I think we did an episode about value versus worth. I don't know. We've done so many. So what has been your favorite episode? While we're waiting on that, what is in our cup today? Is this a tea kind of day, or is this coffee?
It's got to be straight coffee today.
It's Friday. It's got to be coffee. Tanya, thank you. Tanya, by the way, so we had just so you know, we go home and we debate about y'all. Tanya, please confirm this. Is it Tanya or Tanya? Demario was like, oh, it's got to be Tanya. Look how she spells her name. I said, I know some Tanyas who spell their name like this too. It depends on what they want to be called. So could you please let us know who's right and who's wrong? Ronnie, good morning. Thank you for joining us. This is our 30th episode, and we're so excited. So what is the definition of Good Morning Success? It's daily
inspiration for the driven.
And who's the driven, babe?
The driven is anyone
who wants more. Growth focused?
Anyone.
Oh, anyone? They don't even have to want more?
No, because I think we can inspire them to want more. Okay. So, therefore... Tanya.
I was right. Listen, little victories. When I'm right, I have to celebrate. The awesome. See? You need it on air. I want to hear it. Who was right? Because
you was right.
I'm sorry, say it again.
You was right, dear.
I was right, you guys. So we debated if her name is Tanya or Tanya, and this was a serious debate last night. You just don't understand. But anyway, I regress. Go ahead.
If she was in South Carolina, it'd be Tanya.
See, that's I'm not okay.
Tanya.
Okay.
Tan.
Anyway,
Tanya. You get that stuff out free rate.
See, that's country. That is so country. Oh my goodness. I'm from Springfield, Massachusetts. So in our house, let me tell you the dynamics. I am always representing the city girl, the northern chick, and my honey here is from South Carolina, and he represents for the wonderful South, right? Mm-hmm. The Southern charm. And so we are always having this debate. Oh, okay. Spanish, Espanol.
It's not dog.
It's not what?
Dog.
Okay, listen.
Dog is dog.
Listen, so this is daily inspiration for the driven. On this show, we like to start off with what is on your agenda today. We also talk about what's on our agenda today. So what do you guys have on your agenda today? Do you have any key decision-making meetings? Are you creating new forms? Are you developing processes? Are you creating a compelling offer to go out this weekend? What's hot on your agenda? And where is Peter? We need to send 007 after figuring out where Peter is. What do you have on your agenda today, babe?
What do I have on my agenda today? It's still internal.
It's more internal?
Yes.
No, we got some big news happening. We have a very important call at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
Can we talk about that just a little bit?
Go ahead.
You guys, at 11 o'clock today, we are getting ready to sign our first government deal. So those who know us, you know that we work in a small business market. We also work in a corporate market. And we have been, let me tell you something about patience when you're an entrepreneur. We've been working on this contract since, was it March or April? It might have been April. Mm-hmm. We've been working since April. Please understand there are no overnight wins. I'm going to say it again. There are no overnight wins. Okay, sometimes people make things look easy and then you only see the result and you're like, man, how come I'm not, I don't get it. And that's because sometimes you may expect that gratification to be instant. But I want to tell you, everything that comes our way, it has been in the works for months. And so when you see something, I just want to let someone know that because you might have needed that encouragement. But we're excited because let me tell you, on this particular government contract that we've been trying to secure since April, we have done all of the bells and whistles. We've shown up. We have presented. Let me tell you, we have sat in on board meetings like good students, right? We've taken notes. We've stood up in front of their attendees or their members because it's a government board. And we have talked about our value. We've gotten attacked. Somebody, because, people don't like change. And so one of the things that was interesting about securing this government role, book of business that we're getting ready to get, is that they do things in an interesting way. They want to put you in front of the people you're going to be serving so that you almost feel like you're in a firing ring. And then these people have to make a decision if they liked you, if they agreed with what you said, even though I'm here because y'all need to change. Y'all need to do things differently. Your management...
They've been doing things like that for 30, 40 years.
Yeah, your management called us and said, we have some issues here with the people, right, that are sitting in front of you. So could you go and share with them your plan of change, what you will do to turn things around? Demario and I have been there 4 times, 4 meetings, and one of them, which is why I don't like this approach, at one of the meetings, it was just I'm not even going to say the word because I don't want to offend anybody, but it's a you-know-what fest, a bee fest. Anyway, my point is we got there and people were like, well, who told you that we have problems? It's always the loudest person. Someone told me you have problems. So anyway, but today is the day that we find out for sure that we got this new book of work. We're so excited. So.
And I wanted to add to that just in case somebody misunderstood. It does take months to land major things.
Yes. Yes.
But
what?
If your stuff is small, don't you be trying to tell me, oh, I need 6 months. No, your stuff is small. We can do this. We can handle this in a couple of days.
Well,
I'm just saying. I just didn't want to to some of the, the smaller business people out there in this nice video land. I didn't want them to call me today talking about what they want to do in 2019. Well, y'all said.
Well, no.
It takes time. No.
So
we're talking about government, and we're talking about, you know.
Let me clarify in case anyone out there has not had their cup of coffee yet. Okay, so when I say things take time, oftentimes we on the observing end will see people winning. Okay, and we see people like who were granted with an award, right? We see people celebrate it. We see people even in the blog that we did, the blog that came out this week on the Charlotte Business Resources Journal. And so you'll see people around you winning, and it's very easy, even though you're not a hater and you feel you're proud for someone else, you tend to say, God, where is mine? When is my turn? I've been working hard, right? And I know that there are people out there who feel that way. So what I'm encouraging you by is that sometimes by the time you see the result, the seed had been sown long ago, 9 months ago, in fact, or 6 months ago. I just don't want you all to beat yourself up. And I know I've been guilty of it myself because I just started something. Then I see somebody with major success in that area, and I'm looking like, what am I doing wrong? And sometimes you're not doing anything wrong. You just need to keep on going. It just takes time. So I just wanted to say that, especially with this government contract, because in the grand scheme of things, April is not that long ago. We started in April. Now it's July. When you're talking about the government scheduling, you got to kind of plan for 6 months or 90-day stint. So, but what's happening in the world of news before we jump into today's theme? By the way, today's theme is if faith is your plan A, then what is your plan B? What trumps faith? All right, so this is going to be a great topic. What's in the world of news, honey?
Well, just a couple of bullet points that's in the news today. You know, there's recirculating things that's been going on, you know, with the shootings, the fire in London. What's
up with the fire in London? Because the shootings kind of overcrowded. I saw Attorney Anitra say something about the fire in London this week. What? Do you know what?
Well, you know, they still, I guess,
investigating
okay. And, you know, doing the body count thing, you know.
Oh, my God. So, it's like that. It was that.
Well, they're doing body count. I think what it was 6 or 12 dead, something like that.
Okay. Well, let's move on to happier. Is there lighter topics happening in the news today?
I don't want to bring the lighter topics tonight. Well,
we're celebrating 30 episodes. Go ahead.
And people are putting up what they got going on today.
Yeah, we're gonna.
But also, Oregon.
Oregon. You know it's Oregon.
Oregon.
I'm just kidding. You know we have this conversation. Okay, Oregon.
Oregon has become the first state to put the third gender block on the driver's license.
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Well, now
you got to explain what the gender block is for those who might.
Well, you know, when you do your license, you can choose male, female. Well, now there's a third one.
What is the third one?
Whatever you classify yourself to be.
Stop it!
Yes, there is a third one. Now you can classify yourself in Oregon however you feel that you are.
This is crazy. I'm here. I'm just getting water.
The third block. You can put an X there if you just feel like you want to be invisible.
What else is in the news?
Still no verdict in the Bill Cosby case. They're returning back to the courtroom today to discuss Bill Cosby.
I'm sick of Bill Cosby. Aren't y'all sick of Bill? I'm sick of it.
They haven't came up with a verdict yet.
Who cares? That sounds so mean. I'm gonna get so many emails.
Bump your Jello Pops. Why are you gonna say that?
Does anybody really seriously?
I'm gonna sing a song for you.
But do you guys really like? Let's be honest. When it first came out, we were like, oh my God, Bill Cosby. But now it's like 3 years, 4 years later, and we've had children, we've built houses, we have new careers. Like, okay, whatever. Okay,
I just want to know what the verdict is myself, because you know it's like, shucks, the man 80 years old and blind.
All right, so go ahead.
We got another important thing.
Okay.
Do you know that interest rates are going up?
Okay. What does that mean? What's the so what, babe?
The so what? Watch your money. Mind your money, because everything about to get funny. Interest rates are going up to a 1.25%. That's coming out from the Federal Reserve. That's an overall interest rate increase, because they feel like employment rates are going down. Therefore, y'all are making more money. So we about to hit y'all over the head with a little bit more. So mind your money. That is the so what.
Okay, we always gotta tell the people the so what. All right, let's read what people are doing today. So Tanya says call sheets. She says shot list, blocking decisions, breaking down scripts. So Tanya is in a creative field. Tanya, I know you do some script writing, some playwriting. Go ahead and type in what you do, but this is why all of these make sense. For those who are reading Tanya's thing and they're like, what the heck? I recognize that from the playwriting world and directing world. So much love to that, Tanya. We would love to continue to support and follow your work. Kat says, following up with new contacts. Kat has an amazing project. I always say this because this is going to be so big. We have the pleasure of working with Kat right now on the Welcome Veteran Project. It's where her program will help veterans thrive in the first 30 days of their transition. And Kat, I'm so happy to hear you're doing that. Remember to itemize them by the 5 focus areas that we discussed. Dedrick Silver, what is on your agenda? So Dedrick has a very, very nice career going at a former company. We won't say, right, Dedrick? But Dedrick, what do you have planned today? What are you going to be doing today on the JOB? So, and then we talked about what we've got going on, right? What's the word for today, babe?
The word for today is success.
And ooh, you don't say it like that. You know,
when you say success,
it's got to be serious.
It's got to be
real,
deeper. It's
real intense.
Success.
Wow. Okay. So
Success.
that's the word for today.
Yes.
All right. So the word for
we have successfully completed
30 episodes.
And have
30
successfully
episodes.
inspired people that tune in every day to this show.
Yes, and we're asking you all, please let us know, give us feedback, because we just have converted this show over to a YouTube channel and we're creating a pilot around it and all kinds of stuff. What has been your favorite episode so far? If you can't remember your favorite episode, try to remember the theme. We're very curious now that we're 30 episodes in, what has been most impactful for you. So we would love to receive those comments. Tanya says she's a filmmaker working on shooting a scene from my pilot TV show. Tanya, that's awesome. I'm going to connect you with Renee Stringfield of Cast Me Not Productions. I think that there's some great synergy between you all. So I would love for Renee to know you, Tanya, and you to know her. Awesome. So are you ready for the theme of today? I'm very excited about this theme. Are you excited about it, babe?
I'm curious to see how it playing out, because you said faith.
Yes.
It's plan A.
Yes.
Then there has to be a plan B.
Yeah, there has to be a plan B. And this is going to be a debatable topic.
Oh, you know I love debates.
I know you love debates. And that means you guys participate as well. Just so you know, you are our extended family on Good Morning Success. We don't have a show without your interaction. So definitely, as we get ready to jump into this juicy, hot topic, we want you all to touch base with us. Tammy says, meeting with my first client as I just started my own publishing company. Woo! That's awesome. Tammy, definitely connect with William. Do you know William Lee Jr.? He's on today's broadcast. I think he's still hanging out. Connect with him. There's some synergy there. Okay, awesome. So let's talk about it. If faith is your plan A, then what is your plan B? This is a good time to share this. This is a good time to tag an entrepreneur. This is a good time to take notes. So the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about when we, and this is really going to be geared today towards business owners. I love you working professionals, but this is only geared towards business owners or working professionals who are looking to transition out of their career and start their business. So with that being the case, I believe that the reason why we're having this conversation, let me set it up, is because there are a lot of business owners who are in the trenches right now. They're in the trenches of creating, they are producing, they are marketing, and they are waiting for return. They are waiting for money to come in. Some of them feel like they're dying getting that done, and then they get faced with that point where they say, okay, I either need to make something happen or potentially give up, right? Which I hope no one gives up, or I need to figure out a plan B. So this conversation is relevant for that reason, and I'm going to tackle it today, and we will have some debate because I know you. Okay, so this is the first thing. Everybody starts out hopefully with the plan. And the whole thing that makes you step out is that you step out on faith, right? Everyone who started a business, there was always somebody who was in your other ear telling you, are you sure? You sure you want to do that? You know what you're doing? You know most businesses fail, right? And I'm just saying, we've all heard the murmuring, and the fact that you went forward anyway, that you pushed forward, means that you believed in something. You had faith in your vision. Okay, so we know what faith means, right? But we also know that faith without works is dead, right? You guys following me so far? So we're going to assume that your plan A to step out and start your business was faith-based. That means you believed in it, even if no one else did. So right there, you have business owners who will say, well, faith, I have faith. My plan A is faith. And if I do anything else, I no longer have faith. So I just need to have faith. But what happens is this: in having faith, we start to create, produce, market, and we don't see the results quickly enough. And then we start to question, right? We start to question, we start to wonder, and we might even start to doubt. So I want to talk about that a little bit. Faith without works. Here's what goes wrong. Here's what no one is telling you. Here's what no one is talking about, but we should be talking about. Think about this for a second. If you were first working a job somewhere, that means you had a steady paycheck. And in your steady paycheck, you were making just enough to take care of your livelihood, right? Whatever that was, or maybe you wasn't even making enough. But let's just pretend you were making barely enough when you were working. Then you decide to have some great faith, and you have a vision, and you decide you're going to walk away from the job. There are people who walk away from the job with their only plan being faith to start this new business. Now, check this out. You walk away from the job. You probably have 2 or 3 paychecks trailing, right? But now you went from an environment where someone was giving you money on a regular basis to an environment where you have to make money. Now, check this out. When you're starting a business, business costs. It does. You have to invest into the business. You have to invest into some marketing, You have to invest into some personal development. It takes some investment. So what happens when you remove yourself from a permanent role where you were getting paid all the time into an environment where you have to create your own revenue? So now what you're trying to do, because here's where we go wrong. What we're trying to do is maintain and sustain the livelihood we had, while create new, and we need time for research. We need time for market research. We need time to make sure it's going to work. We need time to invest in product, right? And so now you don't have any starting point. You have nothing. You're in a bucket of nothing, and you've added onto your plate. Understand, you've added. When you were working and you weren't in business yet, the money, the income that you had was taking care of your livelihood. Now you've removed yourself from the working income that you used to have, and you're in business, and you've added more to your plate, but you're making less. The way it's supposed to work is most business owners will apply for capital, for startup money. The reason why new ventures apply for money, and this is going to be really key for anyone who's listening and trying to understand this. In a perfect world, when you get, hey Peter, in a perfect world, when you are getting ready to start a new venture, before you even make $1, you have to apply for capital. You're going to need startup money. Seed money is what they call it. The reason why you need seed money is because you need a way to fund the project before it becomes profitable. This is really important, because I'm going to tell you what we're doing wrong. A lot of people don't study, right, the art of business itself. You get passionate about the thing that you do, but there's an entire business model, if you will, around starting a business. So most people will leave their job, they'll jump into becoming a business owner, and then they quickly get in and they're sinking because they're trying to still maintain their household money, but they still need startup money. And guess what? You just decrease the whole pot because you're no longer getting regular paychecks, okay? So you get on this side and you are trying to make money. So here's the trap that happens. A lot of new business owners, before they really develop themselves and their products, they're out there trying to sell. It's desperate. It's panic. It's panic stricken because all you can think about is replacing the income you just lost. Okay, and the thing about being an entrepreneur is it's funny. It's funny. You cannot count money before it hits the bank account. And everybody knows this in entrepreneur, or you've learned it the hard way, right? It's hard to forecast what's coming until it hits the pot. But a lot of business owners will jump in, and you probably have seen this, Demario. They jump in and they start working hard, and the money is not coming fast enough, and they're drowning in debt. So that is the reason why there is seed money and venture capital money. What that money does It's a line of credit, if you will, or it's cash flow. It's temporary cash flow that allows you and your team to go into incubation mode. Incubator mode is where you are using 6 months to develop the product. You're using 6 months to research it. And this money is funding a lot of that research and probably paying your bills behind the scenes. And so when you apply for this money, you have to either tell your VCs, your venture capitalists, how you intend to use it. You have to say, we need household income. We need money to sustain while we stand up this new venture. Or we need this money to fund into the research of this venture. But traditionally, most people don't do that. They jump in on this side and they start drowning in the first 90 days. And it's really sad. So then when they start drowning, they feel conflicted about doing something about it. Because some people feel like, well, if I do something to save myself, I'm telling God that I don't believe in my plan A. Right? Think about it. I'm telling the universe that, well, if I jump out and try to get a part-time job, now it looks like I sold out. So I'm going to tell you the realest thing, and then we're probably going to have a debate about it. First of all, there are people who jump out in their plan A, and miraculously, some people nail it out the gate. I know LaPronda has a great story about how she was in entrepreneurship in her first 90 or 6 months, and she ended up with a great contract. So she was well taken care of, or she was okay. Some people, depending on the nature of your business, it's just going to take time. So now the conflict becomes, well, I've got a plan A. If my plan A is faith, why do I need a plan B? I'll tell you why you need a plan B. You need a plan B because only if it's working for you is it working. Faith without works is dead. If plan A is not working for you yet, sometimes it's not about the fact that you don't believe, it's about the timing, right? So when I say the timing, it takes time for you to receive revenue. It takes time for you to see the harvest from the seeds that you've sown. And I don't know about you, but what I'm not going to do is be thrown out on my lawn and watch foreclosure or bankruptcy happen on purpose. If I have to, for me, if my plan B has to be to get temporary relief or a part-time job while I'm building, the reason why I don't see anything wrong with that is because that's no different than the people who ask for venture capital money to sow and fund into their plan A. So I'm going to say that again. That's no different than the people who are asking for venture capital money. The only difference is you didn't do that as an option, so now you're drowning and you got to get yourself out. Don't feel bad if you have to take a part-time job, if your plan B is part-time in it somewhere to fund. Because think, it's easy math. You left a full-time job that was sustaining your household. You came over here where you're making nothing yet, right? And now you've added to your plate. You still got your household income and your business venture investment. What do you do if you're not making money yet? Even millionaires, the people over Social Incentive, which is a group that you used to be a pilot tester for, multimillionaire company. Even the CEO, his name is Adam. Adam will even say in his videography when questioned, if you have to take a part-time job, take a part-time job to fund it, but don't quit. So that is what I wanted to say. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, you know, of course, you know, I understand that process, and then I understand there's another process too. There are some of y'all out there that won't get funding. You won't be approved for it. Nobody won't give it to you.
Very true.
But because God gave you that vision doesn't mean that, you know, that should be your deterrent. Because I believe that faith is your number one thing. God given talent, a gift or something, a passion, a burning thing inside your spirit, I believe that's going to pull you through. I don't necessarily agree with what is your plan B. Mm-hmm. I believe your plan B should be on your knees a little bit more if God gave it to you. Now, if you created it on your own mm-hmm. and it's not working, great. Mm-hmm. I understand that process, but I just believe that, you know, if it's something that you know for sure that was given to you, see it through. Now, you may have some variations because, of course, if you left a job mm-hmm. to come into entrepreneurship, you leaving a corporation that has finances and everything already secure
for you, yeah.
to pay you. Now you are that corporation. Mm-hmm. So therefore, it's not an apples to apples situation. You can't compete with a multi-million-dollar corporation and stepping out on your own. So your lifestyle might have to change. Mm-hmm. but your vision and your plan should not. Now
your vision, I don't, so I'm gonna say I agree with you. I don't think your vision should change, and I don't think that in acting on a plan B when forced to means that you're cheating on plan A. I don't believe that at all. I think that you can buy time if you need part-time. And listen, by all means, don't starve your kids. Don't end up in a homeless shelter. I just don't believe that if you have a choice, you should be thrown out on your butt trying to wait for plan A to manifest. I think you do what you have to do while pushing your vision forward. And listen, if my part-time income has to go into supporting some of the acts of plan A, if you need money and you can't get funding, I think you do what you have to do. And I don't think it's being unfair. I think it's no different than, like you said, you can't compete with the corporation. I'm not making the money yet. Right, but I need money. I can borrow it. I can ask for handouts too. I can go get a part-time job for now. It's temporary.
Yes, and you just said a key word. Mm-hmm. See, some of you, if you run to a job for a temporary situation, that job will become a full-time situation because you'll be too afraid to jump back out and do what you was doing. Because what a part-time job is going to do is going to bring it might cover your needs. Mm-hmm. So once something starts covering your needs and you done been without for a minute, 100% of the people that do that never come back to the entrepreneurship. That's why more businesses...
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. So listen what you said. You said all people who had a vision, who went and took temporary part-time job, never came back. We know that's not true because Adam of Social Sensitive did it.
Adam of Social Sensitive, they acquired $12 million during the process.
Yeah, but that was after.
That's what I'm saying. They acquired from their VCs.
I agree with what you're saying. I don't think 100% of people never come back. I think maybe a good majority of people, but that just means they weren't the right people anyway. See, I'm talking about the ones who know God gave them the vision. I'm talking about the ones who are dedicated to their growth and their vision. What I'm saying is that if your back is against the wall and you are drowning, and you are drowning in your look at Peter. If you are drowning in your plan A, waiting for the money to come, and you need funding to get to the next level, even in your business, I'm saying I'm not opposed to you doing whatever you have to do part-time, right? As long as you don't lose sight of your vision. There are tons of people, and you guys look it up. Hold on, I'm getting this notification. Take time to look it up. Do a search today on how many entrepreneurs had to take part-time job or handouts while waiting for their plan A to unfold.
Well, the question would be is how long have you been drowning in your plan A? Because see, that's going to come to a different answer.
Okay, so what are your thoughts? Y'all are, I see Peter is vocal. So Peter,
how long have you been drowning? Because if you've been drowning in your plan A for a year or two, it's not a faith thing.
Well, see, and that's why you about to go there. Let me tell you.
You need to pivot. You remember we talked about
pivot and flight. You
need to pivot.
Well, and that's the question. So here's the real question, and we really need to hear from the Good Morning Success viewing audience. Like, what do you guys think? What are your thoughts about the plan A versus plan B? But you raise a very good point. I remember in my past life, I used to attract people in my past life who were very, very pro entrepreneurship, which is fine because this was at a time when I was working. And I used to say, listen, I don't care what you want to do. That's great. If you want to be 100% entrepreneur, just make sure it's working for you. What I'm saying is if you've been an entrepreneur now for 5 years and you've been broke ever since, right? You've been drowning ever since. You haven't seen any victories. Is it working for you? That's the question. And that's the thing is it works when it's working for you. And I think you do a good amount of time. And the real question that people have is, well, Dawn, Nicole, and DeMario, how do I know the difference between being patient and steadfast in waiting for the results to come versus the hard reality that I'm probably barking up the wrong tree? How much time is too much time, and how much time is too little time?
I think you know.
Peter says nobody wants half as people. Peter says, people help me. I'm all in right now.
He said, please help me.
Sounds like plan B is part of a good plan A. Yeah, yes. And And if I can say, I agree with that. And listen, I'm not saying that you have to go into it, right, ready to fail or anything like that. What I'm saying is everybody knows. Let's just be very honest, right? If you have a plan A, you'd be a fool not to say, what is our contingency plan? That is the reason why the word contingency exists, right? If this happens, then what? Because see, I would rather you discuss a plan B with your team than to be blindsided. Understand what I'm saying? For example, let's take a brick and mortar. Okay, let's take a brick and mortar. That was your only plan. Plan A. God gave you the vision. I'm gonna just start a business, y'all. We got a brick and mortar, and so you go and do this brick and mortar, and you and your team have never discussed what happens if, which is a real conversation. It's called risk management. It's called business continuity. How do we continue if this path doesn't turn profit at all or profit in time? Do we just lay down and die? Well, God told us to do it, so we got, right? So you have to talk about a contingency plan. The contingency plan is, this is the happy path. This is ideal, but let's be realistic so we're not blindsided. If this doesn't turn a profit by December, right, of this year, so let's pretend we're in February, we are all pushing towards something that we strongly believe in, but let's be realistic. If we've seen zero funds by December, what is our contingency plan? Or if the building burns down and you're a brick and mortar and all of your inventory is in there, what is going to be your plan B? If this happens, what do we do? Because if you don't discuss a contingency plan, you have no business for a couple of months. Because you got to get insurance, you got to get investors to reinvest in the inventory, right? There's a whole, so that's why there's a whole thing about risk management. Being an entrepreneur is no different, you all. When you have a plan B, in my opinion, it is a part of plan A's discussion. It doesn't mean you don't believe. It doesn't even mean you plan to fail. It just means that you're smart about, and you got to give yourself a time too. I was going to answer your question. We have to give ourselves time. This is why when you do a goal, it needs to be time bound. Say something, because I'm going to drink some water. Never mind, that didn't work out. Okay, when you have a goal, it needs to be time bound to begin with. So if you do have an entrepreneur who says, okay, here's my goal, I'm going to step in and do this. Typically a good goal are to use SMART goals, right? So SMART goals means that it's time bound. I'm going to do this by when. If you haven't done this by when, right? Or if you don't see the result of this by the time you gave yourself, what will be your plan B? I think that's a good measure of success. Well, I mean, not of success, but if it's working or not, if you've given yourself realistic goals.
This is pretty cool. I know a lot of entrepreneurs that are entrepreneurs because of the job situation have failed them. Mm-hmm. So therefore, telling them to get a job is the reason why they're in entrepreneurship.
We're not telling them to get a job. Let's clarify for people who just came.
I'm just saying that they're in entrepreneurship because the entrepreneurship provided more for them than the job market because they just couldn't get it. Those in the areas of, I know a lot of people in the lower areas of South Carolina that, the textile industry went out. So therefore they created their own thing to make. And of course, this is the time frame where the entrepreneurship part of it, it might not handle everything that you wanted to handle, but you couldn't get the job.
Wait, Peter, wait. So let's clarify the facts so that everybody listening, because we really want real opinions, and this is a debatable conversation.
Oh, that's a Shark Tank thing.
But wait, let me address it. We just said that the plan B, a part-time job plan B. So first of all, let's say this. You got plan A, which is your original plan, based on faith and vision. Plan B can be a number of things. Plan B can be fundraising. Plan B can be part-time job. Plan B can be borrowing from family members if you like, but borrow means you got to give back. And then plan B can be capital investment, capital money from venture capitals, right? Now, so what I'm saying is, I didn't define what your plan B is. I said if you have faith, if faith is your plan A, what is your plan B, right? So we started talking about the part-time job in the event you got denied venture capital, okay? Then in the event fundraising, because even fundraising takes time. I think some of you learned that the hard way, and you don't even get your money until or unless you hit your goal, correct? So a lot of these fundraising campaigns, you can't even collect funds. So if it takes 6 months to hit your goal, you're still out. Okay? Then you can borrow from family, but they want their money back. So the only reason we're discussing part-time job is because it is an option, an alternative to supporting Plan A. So I'm only talking to people who are absolutely dedicated to their Plan A. Because you're asking or you're gaining a secondary source of funding to fund your Plan A doesn't make you bad. Peter, if you can't get approved for venture capital, then what? Probably fundraising, right? If you can't wait long enough, the 6 months, because you're already hungry by the time you apply, then what? Well, I'm going to borrow from my mama and my aunties and my dad. If that doesn't work out, then what? You may have to go and get a part-time job, and you don't see, manning up to me is the difference between what you want and what you have to do. That's what manning up is, right? Womaning up, manning up. So I didn't say I want to get a part-time job. I just said if I need Plan B support to fund my dream, I'm not talking to those sometimey fair weather people who are jumping in Plan B to run from Plan A. That's not who I'm talking to today. I'm talking to the people who believe in what they have. They've worked the plan, but it's taking time for the money to turn around, and they are hungry, starving, and drowning. Do you turn into a bag of skeletons waiting on it, or do you start to pursue Plan B options to feed Plan A? That's the question. So if you can't get venture capital money, then what? You get fundraising, right? If you can't get fundraising, then what? And 9 times out of 10, if you can't get venture capital money, a bank isn't lending to you either, because the same reason you got turned down from the VCs, the banks will say if you don't have a 650 credit score, if you haven't been on the job 6 months or on your, in your business 6 months, and if you're not bringing in $8,000 to $10,000 a month, we don't want to talk to you. But if you were doing that, you wouldn't need capital money, right? If you're bringing in $10,000, I'm sure you can find a way to invest in your business. So that's what I'm talking about is, does having a Plan B mean that you don't have faith? What are your thoughts? What is your thoughts? Now that I broke it down like that, do you understand my point, or you still disagree?
I still kind of disagree.
Of course, of course.
Peter says, who invests into a person who works full-time at McDonald's? Investors want a return on an investment. Time is money.
If you're getting an investment, you're not working at McDonald's. Y'all are missing the point. If you're getting an investment, right, then this conversation is null and void. You're not at McDonald's because you got an investment. Right? So I'm not talking about those people because they wouldn't be working at McDonald's. They have an investment. Right? I'm talking about when you've gotten denied from a venture before you work at McDonald's and you need capital funding and you've gotten denied. What do you propose the person do? Since you don't agree with my Plan B options, how do you continue in Plan A, waiting patiently, doing all that you can, starving?
No, you just said a great thing. You said 2 negative words: waiting and starving. No, I say working and striving. See, the thing about it is, and it really depends on your business, because it doesn't work in everybody's business. If you are a business to where every day you have the potential to actually...
You said tell them to talk to their pastor after the collection has been taken.
Oh, Peter, that's a whole nother show.
That's borrowing, so that's well.
The church ain't gonna do it.
How you know?
Some
churches.
Not in 2017. I'm sorry. The church is not going to. Maybe back in the 70s and 80s. But
Pastor Plan Z. Right.
The church, the pastor wearing zoot suits.
But I want to hear what you were going to say. You said striving and you said working and striving.
Working and striving. Okay. If you are in a position to where it's just the really thing of more clientele that you can bring in the door will increase your profit. Because some of you have a business of, let's say you sell something. Mm-hmm. If you're selling something, you just got to go out and sell more. It's a hustle game. You got to go out and sell more because all of these other things that you say you're waiting. If you're starving and you're selling something, if I sold cups to eat, and I'm starving and I got cups to sell, that's a whole nother story.
Okay, even if they're working at McDonald's, they're not investing in the person, they're investing in the idea, right? Just like the flip side, you may be a millionaire, hit that, and already seeking investment, not to use your own funding. Yes, that happens.
That is true.
That happens. Plus, I'm going to say this, because I knew this was going to be a debatable topic. And let me tell you, Let me say again, we are not talking to the fair weather, flimsy, sometimey back and forth business owner who don't know what they want to do anyway. Let's get that off the table. We're talking to the go-getters, the ones who know what they want, they know what they can bring to the table, but the only thing in question is that they are working the plan, they are striving, and because, and I have to say this again, remember, in business, your plate gets heavier because in addition to the household income that you already have, now you got business expenses, printing costs, right? Marketing costs, professional development, parking. Listen, you got to pay to park if you're meeting clients in Uptown. If you're trying to meet them somewhere, listen, this is the thing. When you don't control the money, sometimes you got to play the game. I'm going to say it again. When you control the money, this conversation is no longer for you. But if you need someone and you need money, you have to play the game sometime because you're the one asking for the money. Whatever the game is, you don't control the money, but you need a piece of it. You might have to do something you don't want to do. You might have to do crowdfunding. Don't nobody really want to be up there begging people, hi, my name is...
I like crowdfunding. I think it's a great thing. You know, you hear a lot of businesses say they raised a lot of money on crowdfunding.
But no, I'm not dissing crowd. Listen to what I'm saying. There are some people whose pride, because you got to understand, check this out. If you've already made the world believe that you were popping like that, you got it going on.
That's true.
Then you turn around next week and you are emailing all of your friends, right? And I'm not, listen, some of my, right? Hi, my name is Alicia, and I'm not messing with those people, but what I'm saying is you better be careful from a reputational standpoint that you haven't already put out there that you're just popping like that. We got it going on. We're popping collars. Now you turn around and you ask for crowdfunding where you do have to be very vocal and transparent with people to gain the money, right? Because that can sometimes work against you, because guess what people are going to say? She don't need no money. She got a brand new Cadillac. Didn't they just get that house built? Right? People are not trying to help you when that happens. I'm being very honest with you. So my thing is, if that's an avenue you want to go to, just make sure that it works for you. I know some people who are not going to get up there and put up a crowdfunding video pleading, right, for somebody to fund their deal. They're just not. So what I'm saying is this. If you don't control the money, you are operating on your plan A and you need things. Let's be honest. You need things. One person would say, well, guess what? What you were supposed to do right is before you started the business, save enough money so that this wasn't a discussion. Right? Let's be honest. There are people who will say, well, hell, let's talk about what you do right before you start the business. You shouldn't, some people will say, you shouldn't have even jumped into business without having a nest egg. Or as my dad would say, and I have to argue this point. I love you, Daddy, but because we had this argument when I started my business. My dad said to me, baby, you really shouldn't leave your job until your business, you're making more than you make on this job.
That is so true.
No. Let me tell you why I don't. No, let me tell you.
You don't agree with that?
No. Let me tell you why I don't agree. Hear me, and I put this in my book, Grow For It. This is why I don't agree. I think that is ideal in theory. Theory is always a theory until it's been tested, okay? You have to know, on my job, I was making well over $12,000 a month, okay? Because of what I was doing. Now, some people be like, damn, why you even want to start a business, right? The first thing is, I didn't start a business for the money. I didn't start a business because I needed more money. I started a business because I needed to be free of this box that I was in. I needed to go and touch the world and give something back. I had all these lofty plans about what I could create. And I was convinced that through my creating and my innovation and everything I would do, I would be a multimillionaire one day by doing what I love. I didn't love the profession that I was in. So the first thing is, if you're starting a business for money alone, forget about it. I'm going to say it again. If your only why for starting a business is money, then stay on your job.
Go ahead.
If your only reason for starting your business, entrepreneurs, is money, then stay on your job. it has to be deeper than just money. So for me, I wasn't looking for my new business to be a $12,000 a month business out the gate. That would have been ideal, right? But I knew realistically that I was going to have to grow to a place. And I'm going to say this because this is what I said to my father. When he said to me, well, you know, you really shouldn't leave until your side business. Now, I didn't even know really what my side business was going to be completely. But he said, you should leave until you're at least doubling. So, Daddy, you really think that I shouldn't leave this place until I'm making about $24,000 a month? Guess what, Daddy? I'm never going to make $24,000 a month sitting here in this office. Because think about what that means. That means that someone is telling you while you sit in your office on your day job, you got to be so good with that part-time job, right? That I'm making $24,000. And I told my dad, I can't do that sitting here. That's the whole reason why I need to go. I cannot. Do you really think that this is designed for me to figure out a clever way to sit on these people's job to make $24,000 a month in my side hustle? I have to go to make that happen for me. So me and my father, we had, and he has been an entrepreneur all his life. And when he tried to talk, he didn't talk me out of it, but he was trying to talk some sense into me. But I still did it. So my point is, and I had 401k money. I had some of that pension money, but this is what no one told me. I'm about to be very honest. I did it the way that they said you should do it. I had a nest egg of money. It wasn't a whole lot, right? But no one told me that when I got on this side, life was going to happen. And when I say life was going to happen, you only have so much money saved up and you try to do the best with it. You forecast, okay, well, we'll be good for 5 or 6 months, right? Life happened. At the time, right, the plan that I had quickly became a plan B plan because of the life around me, right? Went through a divorce and all kind of stuff. So that money that was going to be plan A money, my whole plan was jumbled. And that's the first thing about being an entrepreneur. Are you tough enough? When the first storm comes, are you going to run with your tail between your legs, right? Are you going to duck and cry? No. You got to be flexible. You got to be agile. You got to be adaptable.
See, you said something earlier that is so powerful and key. You said you left the box because you wanted to go do something you love. So I have a question for those people that's listening to this very, very touchy subject for a lot of people, because I understand on both sides of the track. Do you marry, have children with, and live a comfortable life with a person that you don't love because the life is comfortable? Or do you fall in love deeply and have children with the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with because you feel like you love them, they love you? You say, well, Damari, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see you looking at me. You say, what does that mean? See, many of you want to run to something that you don't love, that aggravated you. The reason that you left that relationship, because it was aggravating the hell out of you. The reason that you ran to the person that you now love is that relationship was aggravating the hell out of you.
You mean the previous relationship?
Yeah, the previous relationship, and however long that stint was in that relationship. Some of you been in a relationship for years, and you finally got away, and now you with, oh, I love my new relationship.
Yes, he does.
Oh, I love my new relationship. It's hard sometimes in my new relationship, but I love. No.
Go ahead.
But I love my new relationship. I love it. That's why I'm in it. It's struggling. Oh, it go back and forth. Sometimes I just be like, oh my goodness. But guess what I'm not going to do? Guess what I'm not going to do?
What you not going to do?
I'm not going to go back to the relationship that I didn't love.
See.
Wait.
No.
Wait, I'm not. Because I'm telling you, y'all going to have to agree with me.
No.
Because guess what happens when you walk back in that relationship that you left because you didn't love? When you go back there, that part that you didn't love is going to manifest even more so. And soon as that person, that relationship says something to you that was one of those trigger things of the reason that you left that relationship, you're going to have some choices to make. You come in there and they be like, well, I know you was here before, but I'll tell you what. This is how it's going down this time because you came back to me. This is how it's going. You're like, hold up. I done been in love.
That's not.
I can't be in love and then go back to something I don't love. I just can't. So you know what I got to do? I got to learn how to love this better, and I got to love it and work it. I tell you, my dad's accountant said something very powerful to him one year. My dad has been an entrepreneur for over 30 years, and he loves what he does.
Your dad?
Yes, my dad. he had some struggle years. His accountant said, well, in the most professional way, his accountant told him, what's the use in loving something when it doesn't love you back? Let me tell you something. 15, 20 more years later, I guess my dad answered that question directly to him without addressing that question, because sometimes what's for you, it's for you. And if it's for you, it's going to overturn.
But listen.
Faith
hold on,
without work is dead.
Right.
And if you're dead, you go get a job. Because if you are dead, it ain't no use in trying to live. Because when you came up out of that relationship you didn't love, you wanted to live. You wanted to walk around whenever you wanted to walk around. You wanted to go to the bathroom when you wanted to go to the bathroom.
Peter, don't give it.
You wanted to say,
stop.
Right now, I feel like riding to the store and I'm gonna be gone for an hour. And guess what? If I'm gone for an hour, only I can say something about it. Because you have no control over me. Because this is what I love. This is what I love. And guess what they say? A person that loves something will endure 50 hours for less pay than 160 hours for a control pay. Whoa, y'all don't hear me now. Love it or leave it, baby. Love it or leave it.
So first of all, Pentecostal pastor. All right, let me say no.
30 episodes.
Let me say this. Y'all got it twisted. No one is talking about quitting your plan A. Let me say that again. This is not about quitting. So yes, 30 years later, he's still there, right? This is not about quitting. This is about when the results aren't coming quick enough and I have to look at a temporary alternative, you have options. I bet you there are a lot of people who've been in business 30 years and they've taken out a loan, right? They probably put a second loan on their house. They've traded things in. This is what is a plan B alternative to waiting on the money. Whether you got to sell jewelry, plan B. Whether you got to pawn some plan B. Whether you got to downsize, plan B. If you have to take a temporary job, that's not going back to I'm not even saying going back to your old place. I'm saying temporary. All of these things are potential things that you can do to fund your plan A. So when you sell jewelry, does that mean you don't love it? No. Right? When you go and take a loan out for your business, does that mean you don't love it? No. When you ask for a handout, does that mean you don't love it? No. If you have no other alternatives and you have to work a plan B, that still doesn't mean you don't love your A. So that's all I'm saying is you have to keep in mind that if this doesn't come to pass as quickly as we're expecting, what else are we willing to do? That's what the real question is.
You know what? Now that I look at the sentence, I want to...
Oh, I was trying to get to the comments. Go ahead, babe. Go ahead.
Oh.
Now that you look at the sentence.
The sentence, one thing you said, the sentence is, if faith is your plan A, what is your plan B? I would like to turn those questions around.
You sure you don't want to preach to it like you just got through? Where's the collection plate? Because I'm about to put some money in.
But hey, I am going to preach to it.
Uh-huh.
Plan B, first secure your plan B and then add the faith into your plan B. Don't start off with the...
secure your plan A?
No, I'm saying if I flip the sentences around, you
okay.
say, what is your plan B? If faith is your plan A, what is your plan B? Well, your plan B is that thing that you build, just like we was talking about. And then you add in the faith and all that stuff underneath it.
Hopefully the faith is first. Faith needs to be
I'm just saying, though, how you got your idea and you work and you actually believe in it, then you have faith for it to actually work.
Asking for money is part of business, right? Up today, down tomorrow. Right. D. Trump is an example of that. He's only a brand of truth. People bought the same idea. Peter, we agree. Peter, I think we're saying the same thing, but what I'm saying is, right, if you have to operate in plan B for a minute, whether plan B is I done asked somebody for money, I have borrowed money, I did crowdfunding, right, or I took a part-time job, as long as mentally you know what you're doing it for. Listen, nobody really wants to borrow. By the time you are a person who is so faith-based and such a go-getter, you already have a sense of pride about yourself. So they have to turn around in a plan B alternative and say, do you mind if, but this is what I'm going to do with it. We really don't want to have to do that, but you do it because that's what you have to do to grow your plan A. So my point is, regardless of the alternative way that you get the additional money, today's point is, if you have to go to a plan B route to ask for money, raise money, borrow money, work part-time for money, right? However you got to get the money, because at the end of the day, how you get it is not as much in question with the fact that you do get it to fund your plan A. I think that's what we're forgetting. We have a stigma about the job. No one has a stigma about borrowing money, which you probably could, right? Because of interest rates and this and that, right? No one has a stigma about the venture capital, raising money, or selling all the stuff in your house. But when I said one of those alternatives might be a part-time job, if you know what you're doing it for and what you're going to spend it on, if you keep your eye on the prize, why does it matter what route you go to get the additional funds to fund your plan A? And today's thing was really to say, whatever you have to do, if you have the faith and you're working hard in plan A, and it's just a matter of the money is not coming quick enough, yes, you go harder. Yes, you make more calls. Yes, you do what you have to do. But guess what? If you could do all that to begin with, you'd already be doing it, and it would already be working for you, and plan B would be a null and void point. What I'm saying is, when you've done everything that you can do in your power, right, and you are in need, your back is against the wall, because remember, when you start a business, you've taken on more liability. You have your household money and now your business investment money, and it is all stacked up on you. And unless you land a superb account quickly enough, you're going to run into a situation where you need capital. So you have to have a plan B to say, okay, what are we going to do if we don't make money quick enough? That doesn't mean you don't have faith. That means that you're smart. That means that you're mitigating the risk. Would you rather have the conversation ahead of time or be blindsided and have to have the conversation after the fact? Right? I rest my case. Thank you all. My fee is $150 an hour.
Dawn Perry Mason's daughter.
Yes, yes. So hopefully this was helpful. We wanted to know what your viewpoint is. Do you believe that if you have to move to a plan B temporarily to fund plan A, that is cool? That doesn't mean you don't have faith. What are your views on it? Let us know. Also, talk about next week before we get ready to conclude.
Ooh. Now, see, next week you want to talk about some debates. Let's go back and forth. Because if you have read or even know about the 48 Laws of Power, I'm pretty sure out of 48 laws, there's one in there that you said, I don't know about that.
Oh, man.
But I'm telling you, it's
Well, tell
deep.
them what it is first, babe. What for some people, because I found like Kat, I'm sorry to call you out, Kat. Kat, did you go study it? So
No,
what
the
is
48
the
Laws of Power, written by Robert Greene and Josh Elfing.
Yes.
It's a book. Basically, it's like the Bible for the corporate leaders,
for people in
the
power.
kings back in the previous years, who utilized these tactics to overthrow their competitors.
Right.
And it is something so serious that even 50 Cent came out with the 50th Law of Power, because 50 Cent believed that those laws came from the street and went into corporate America. So they believe that this book is the guide for corporate America thought processes. And it's kind of deep. Some of them, like I say, just go look it up. But starting next week, we're going to be covering the 48 Laws of Power and how they relate to your business.
It's gonna be
which
juicy.
is going to be very interesting, because
Yeah.
I know some of those laws are like,
Yeah.
they look...
And yeah, we're gonna and like you said, honey, the 48 Laws of Power are only like the Bible and principle of power, and people have been using it all around you. So don't be the mark. And when I say the mark, just don't be the one who doesn't know what they are. You don't have to agree with them. You might not even apply all of them to your life, but understand what your components are using all around you. This is already happening from in even some street code, right? Street code is based on the 48 Laws of Power. So we're going to talk about how it applies to your business. We're going to do, I think we're doing a law a day, one of the 48 laws a day.
The first one on Monday.
First one on Monday, y'all. What is the first one? Do you remember?
Never outshine the master.
Say it again.
Never outshine the master. You better go look it up. Law 48, number 1. Check it out. We're about to hit on it, how it relates to you and your business.
Yes, next week. Yeah.
And you know, she going to break it down from a business aspect. and I'm probably going to break it down from a street aspect. You
so.
already know that.
All right, we love you guys. Thank you for rocking with us today. Please share this. We are working to get this. Yeah, today's our 30th episode. We're working to get this out mainstream. We have a YouTube channel that's called GoodMorningSuccessTV.com. You can catch all of your favorite episodes. Share this. Tag someone. We appreciate you. We love you. Until next time, stay on the grow with Dawn Nicole and
Demario.
Peace.